What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kendra. In today's video we are going to be talking about the money. Specifically, what money? We are going to be talking about the sign-on bonuses. Yes, the large sums of money. A number of institutions throughout the nation are offering new grad nurses to sign on to their hospitals. It was about a year ago when I heard the chitter chatter of my coworkers talking about this. Oh, the contract, they're offering a retention bonus. The retention bonus is $30,000. If you sign it, you get that money up front in a lump sum, and all you have to do is work for the institution 3 years. I know the number $30,000 is a large sum, and it sounds pretty tempting. A lot of nurses were going back and forth on whether or not this is something they wanted to take advantage of. I was not able to take advantage of any of it. Why? I work PRN. I'm not committed to the hospital on a full-time basis nor on a part-time basis. So for me, it wasn't anything for me to think about. I knew I wasn't eligible, and I was not signing on to anybody's full-time to gain access to that money. Some of you might be wondering why this large sum of money. Well, what's happened post-pandemic is that a lot of nurses have left the bedside to find other jobs. Some of them are working in other areas of nursing. A lot of nurses have completely exited the profession, and a lot of the nurses who had been nurses for a number of years ended up retiring from the profession. So there's definitely a shortage, and hospitals have become creative in trying to retain whatever staff that they already have. Also, another thing is that a lot of nurses, even though they are remaining in direct care at the bedside, a lot of them are doing so on a travel nurse basis, like signing up with an agency, leaving the hospital completely, signing up with an agency, and taking local contracts or travel nursing assignments where they're earning more money. So hospitals obviously had to get creative to find ways to retain the staff that they already have, and by offering large sums of money as retention bonuses, that is the route a lot of hospitals chose to go. I know a lot of you heard the saying, hopefully I'm not butchering it, but I think it goes something like, all money ain't good money, or nobody just gives you money for free. Because in exchange for the $30,000 retention bonus, nurses would have to sign a 3-year contract, meaning that they would have to remain working within the organization for 3 years. And if in fact they left the organization before the 3 years was up, they would have to pay the prorated amount back of whatever the balance was from that $30,000. So of course, there's definitely going to be a catch to it. While the application for the retention bonus was being circulated, I was approached by colleagues asking me my take on whether or not the $30,000 retention bonus was a good idea, if in fact I was going to sign up to take that money. And of course, my answer was no. And what I want to say is that everyone has to be able to make a decision in their best interest for what works for them and what works for their families. For me, when I heard the $30,000 retention bonus, when I heard the lump sum, I said, let me do the math, okay? Let me do the math. So what I did was I sat with a pen and a paper and my calculator in hand. And if you guys see me glancing off to the side, is because I have a dry erase board right here that I actually crunched some numbers just to kind of give some reasons, or kind of give some support to my reasons as to why I would not, I'm not going to say never, because they say never say never, why I was not enticed to take a $30,000 sign-on bonus in exchange for 3 years. My first reason for not taking a sign-on bonus is because the contract of 3 years. Can you imagine? As a registered nurse, where you can go anywhere in the US and work. If you work in a state that have multiple organizations, you get tired of the one that you're working in and you want to move to another one, then you can't, because you're stuck in a 3-year contract. Also, what if I no longer want to work in the specialty in which I'm working in, or I no longer want to stay within the organization because I found a better opportunity elsewhere? Then what happens? I'm stuck in a 3-year contract, and if I break that contract, I now have to pay you that money back, which more than likely I would have already spent. Other piece some of the nurses did not consider were the taxes that was going to come out from that $30,000. Not only the taxes, but they would also take out the money for your 401k or for your 403b out of that $30,000. So let me tell you all, when the checks were dispersed and people received their lump sum check, they were shocked. They were like, oh my goodness, where did all the money go? almost half of it. I think some people received checks of like $16,000, maybe $17,000, maybe a little bit less. Because for one, we're talking about federal taxes coming out. And then after you have state taxes, you have county taxes, you have, if you're signed up with 401k or 403b, whatever percentage that you're matching, they also took that out of the bonus money. Which for me, that part, like I told people, I'm like, why are you guys mad at that? It's going into an account for your retirement, so at least you shouldn't have to worry about putting anything aside for retirement out of this live check, because the organization already took care of that. So a lot of people had high hopes thinking that they were going to get this huge sum of money. Also, I think what they did also, I don't think they gave them a separate check. I believe it was lumped in with their actual paycheck. So it was $30,000 plus whatever they got paid. So that even meant more taxes came out. So a lot of people were really and truly dissatisfied with the way the organization dispersed the money. For me, I never, and maybe this is negative of me, but I usually always feel like the organization will always have their best interest. And you know, rightfully so, right? So when they started like talking about this bonus money, and you know, they made it seem like it was just like the best thing in the world. It was the best thing since sliced bread. I was like, nah, y'all have y'all best interest. So let me just sit with this for a little bit, right? Let me just think about it. So I did this little calculation thingy right here. And I know I'm probably going to lose some of you on it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to probably type it in on the screen so that way we can be on the same page. And if you see me glancing over here, it's because it's on my dry erase board that's down here. So this is how I make sense of it, right? Because we have to be careful when we're talking about money here. You kind of have to think of what the exchange is. So I said to myself, $30,000 for 3 years. You want a nurse to sign on for 3 years for you to pay them $30,000. So what I didn't realize was that you guys can actually not read, but see what I'm talking about here. I don't have to actually glance over the board. I can just hold it up. So this is $30,000 and we're talking about a 3-year contract, right? Let's just say they take 20% in taxes. That's $6,000. We now have $24,000 left. And like I told you all, I'm thinking about it. For me to commit 3 years to you all, I need to look and see over the 3 years exactly what that $30,000 means, right? So $24,000 after taxes divided by the 3 years. That means I'm really getting $8,000 a year. $8,000 a year divided by 26 weeks, because we get paid every 2 weeks, will be an additional $308 on my check every 2 weeks. That's how I calculated it. And in a month's time, it would be approximately $615 to $616 additionally in 1 month. That is what I would be getting if I signed on to accept that $30,000 bonus in exchange for 3 years. $615 a month is what that means, right? $615. However, let's just say I'm a nurse at the bedside and I'm making $32 an hour, right? And I do overtime. My overtime rate is now $48 an hour. If I pick up 3 extra shifts per week, if I pick up 3 extra shifts in total, that would be 36 hours. This is in a month's time. 3 extra shifts in 1 month will give me 36 hours, right? I took away 8 hours because we get paid every 2 weeks, and this is to make the 72 hours bi-weekly 80 hours. So that's that. Anyway, long story short, the 28 hours I would do in overtime times my overtime rate will give me $1,344 in a month, which is way more money, almost double this $615. So why am I signing a sign-on bonus for y'all to hold me hostage for 30 years? I know that math was a little bit confusing, but if you pause it and you look at it, you'll see exactly what I mean. And let me just explain how, as nurses, when we work at the bedside, every 2 weeks we get paid for 72 hours because we do 3 12-hour shifts. So 3 12-hour shifts, each week is 36 hours. Bi-weekly, it's 72 hours. In order for us to make overtime, we must get to 40 hours. So let's just say I pick up an additional 12-hour shift. 4 hours of that 12-hour shift will go towards regular pay. That will take me to 40 hours a week. And then anything past the 40 hours a week, I will get paid time and a half. So I know that's probably kind of confusing. Most nurses, though, you guys understand what I'm saying, and anyone else who works maybe in healthcare where they're not quite at 80 hours, you guys understand how that works. I know for the rest of you that's not probably in healthcare, it's kind of confusing, and I'm sorry for that. But long story short, I am not here to tell anyone whether or not they should accept a retention bonus or a sign-on bonus. $30,000 is a lot of money. However, I think $30,000 sign-on bonus or retention bonus for 3 years is a bit excessive. Now, if all you have to do is a 1-year commitment, I'm with it. If I have to take a retention bonus for $30,000 and work for you just 1 year, by all means, where's the paper? I'm signing it. But for me to sign on and give you 3 years of my life where I don't even know if I want to still work for you within the next year, because as things progress, nursing is just getting more challenging and more difficult. Who said that I want to work in your organization for the next 3 years? So these are just some things for nurses, specifically new nurses and new grad nurses, to think about whenever you are offered a sign-on bonus or retention bonus. Just think about it in that aspect. If they're saying, we want to give you $30,000, but you must stay with us for 5 years, or you must stay with us for 4 years. Look at that. Think about that money in that time span. Can you make that money in that time span without signing any contract? More than likely, yes. It's all about how much you're willing to work. So that's it for this video. I know I kind of rambled on. I just was trying to get my point across. I hope I didn't confuse a lot of you. And just leave me some comments. We can have further discussion on this. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching.